Yeah, so we're talking about Wofai Fada and other situations like that. So we're not going to talk necessarily just about her. We're going to talk about when the in-laws don't want the partner that their son or daughter has chosen. What is it like? What do you feel that should be taken into consideration so that the couple can make up their minds on going ahead or not? Or do you feel that they should even completely rule out this relationship and this marriage idea since we have in-laws that are not in support? Let me bring in everyone else and let's talk about this. So let me give you the background in case you didn't know me. I think you don't know. Wofai Fada recently released pictures of herself and her husband. Her husband is from a big Lagos family, and the family, yes, and the family, the father of the man came out with a public letter saying that they want everyone to know that he's not, or they're not in support of this relationship, right? And so that they are denying having any part in it. Yeah. And people think that it's because they don't feel that the girl is of the same class as him because they are a wealthy Lagos family, a well-known family, and she's from a different state entirely, somewhere in the south, and her family is not known
Africa, Africa.
like, yeah. We can talk about both with a father's situation and generally what you feel about families not agreeing to their child's chosen partner. What do you feel about such relationships? What are the things that you would like us to consider in making a decision as to whether or not that kind of union is even advisable at all?
Okay, I would say it depends. Now, why don't they want the partner? So sometimes because there's this saying that there are some things your elders can see, or there are some things your trusted friends or people who really love you and are looking out for you can see that you can't see, right? So it can go both ways. Now, if it's something really that they see that and they are telling you, no, this is not good for you. Now that's very different. But if it's just that they don't want this person along the lines of social class and I don't know, socioeconomic status and all that, there's a little bit of a truth there. You know, everyone has their own. Everything is true to every person. There's a little bit. I'm not sure that's our topic today, right? So we won't get in there. But I would say it depends on why they don't want the partner, number one. And then number two, it depends on how strong, how much of a say, how much of an influence they have in the partners in your partner's life. So if you're as a woman, you're married and your in-laws don't like you. And it's worse when it's a woman. And it depends on how much of a say they are going to have in your husband's to be's life. In some families, the parents don't have much of a say. They've raised the children are independent. While the men love their mom or their dad, they can still say, no, mom, this is where it ends. These are the boundaries and all that. In some families, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the parents still run the show. So if you find yourself in a place where the parents run the show and they don't like you, maybe you should go. Maybe you shouldn't proceed. Honestly, I'm quite honest about this. If really there are some families that the parents have so much influence, I've seen this with my eyes,
Mm, mm,
right? And if you're telling yourself the truth, because you're going to be there against their will, you're going to have children. These children are going to have cousins, and because it's not just about you. So these
mhm.
children would not be accepted by their grandparents. They will always be treated different. They'll make them feel some type of way. It's not just about you. So again, if your parents-in-law have influence and they can make or mar your marriage and they don't like you and you've maybe try to get in their good books if it's possible. I don't know how to do that without kissing ASS. I don't even know. Maybe try to get in their good books if possible. Maybe pray, see if God can change. I don't know.
Wow.
But if truly they don't like you, I think that you shouldn't proceed. That's what I
Mm.
think.
But what about love? What about love between those two people? Because you and I know that this matter of love is not something to be taken lightly. Because if you've come across somebody, you know, I'm not of the mindset that if I see this person and I really want to be with them, then I should feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't have this person, then I may never meet somebody else. That's entirely different from when we talk about two people who really feel very well matched. Because many people get together and form a relationship with someone that they know is not really, maybe you really, really want this person, and so you don't want to let go of that person, even though you don't get the reciprocity from them. And so sometimes you're holding on and feeling, I may never come across somebody else. That's a different one from when two people are really very well matched. It's not something to be taken for granted.
No, no, also,
You know?
don't get me wrong.
No, I didn't
Some
think that
people
that's
say
what you're
that
saying.
love is not enough. Like again, I just mentioned again, we even with all the love this man has for you,
Mm,
again, I just said be realistic. How much of an influence do his parents have in his life and will have? Even if he
okay,
has all the love in the world for you, and he's not the type that can, establish those boundaries,
okay,
cover you, put their parents in their place, that love is not going to be enough. I'm just sorry to
right,
say this.
all right.
If we are
Coco,
being real.
okay, yeah. Coco, do you want to go next?
1,000. In fact, do you know what? 1,000 kisses and hugs for you, Oni. 1,000 kisses and hugs.
Mm,
Love is not enough.
mm.
Love wanes. It may not wane down to 50%, but just waning down to,
What even if it doesn't
2%.
win? Even if it doesn't win,
Hold
because that's the
on.
one I believe in, and I will always
Also,
say that.
also,
Yeah.
love would wane, and it all depends on the degree. It could be from 100 to 98% or
I
99%.
don't know. I haven't experienced it, so I don't know
And
anything
it
about
could
that.
wane. No, no, no. I'm being realistic, just like
Mm.
Onyi. It can wane down
My
to
love is like super
20%.
glue. That's why I find it hard to.
Hold on, but you will need to acknowledge that it would wane by at least 1%. I'm not saying, listen, I've not said it will wane down to 50% or 60 or even 20%. Of course, there's so many cases where it does, but I'm talking about the super couples that, oh, their love is still shacking. It would wane by at least 1%,
Okay, let's even go
whether we
further.
like it or
Okay.
not.
All right. So.
Now, no, no, no. So, to the different degrees, just like Onyi said, you see, I've always said that in marriage, two most important things after love stand to be corrected, but that's my view: sex and finances. Okay, I'm not deviating before you call me back. And why
No.
am I saying this? Is more like to support what Onyi is saying, that you know what, love is not all that it takes, i.e., not to change the topic. If these two things are not present, besides the love, yes, we've established that we love each other, you will get into each other's skin and just eat yourselves apart. Within a year or two, your marriage has ended. There was
Mm.
no sex, no consummation, or the guy is very useless, as in doesn't want to go and get a job and all that. You see all that so-called 100% love. You
I don't
can't
know
tell me
what's
that that
happening.
love
I
will
cannot
bind
hear
them.
anything. It's the network is not good. I'm
So,
not hearing anything.
Oh dear.
okay,
We
okay,
can
oh
hear her
dear,
perfectly.
yeah. And
Let
also
me check
that
my
is
internet.
okay. And that
Yeah.
is what Onyi, although Onyi didn't exactly specify these things, but that's where I
So
agree
Dickens
with
or Young's
her.
love, right? Yes.
And that's where I agree with her. Now,
Yeah.
that man that his love will only drop by 1%,
Yeah.
right? He will start seeing things. They're his family. He will start, listen, they'll start
Mhm,
preaching this thing
mhm.
of that girl is an outsider. I had you from my tummy. And it's now a pitch, especially with Igbos, is now a pitch of she, the outsider, and you and your siblings, me, your dad, your mom, or in fact, even your most distant cousin, even that person in the village that is not even related to you. The pitch will now be that remote relation that you don't even know how they even got related to you, or if they even are, the fact that you're from the same village, that that person has your interests at heart and not your wife that you've lived with, that you're living with. The pitch will come. And trust me, the guy would 99.9% fall or start falling for that. Right?
Um.
So when the
Mhm.
pitch when that peach now comes, just like Onyi is saying, do you know what? I think we've seen enough in life to just say, I stand with Onyi, don't even go in. You're gonna just frustrate yourself. And it's something I've had someone once
But
say
when you base it
something
on
to
something,
me. Hold on. The person said, let's say the name of that village is Olo. I've heard someone say to me, do you know what? I advised my friends because I heard all the things. So I advised my friend, and I said I heard someone say, he said, what she doesn't understand, she thinks the fight is between she and her husband, but the fight is between her and the entire village of that husband.
Mm.
Now that's a
listen,
very strong
do
statement.
you know something? Do you know that it's very possible that in this Wofai's case, it's very possible that she may even have, because somebody has said this to me. She said no to the guy because your mother doesn't like me. Your mother does not want me. And the mother is those matriarchs, those strong ones, you know, she is in control of that family. And she's because even his dad is late. Said, your mother doesn't like me, and she's in control of everything, and they're powerful and they're rich and all that. And she said no. And the guy is the one who is insisting. So do you know that it's possible that in this Wofai's case, it's very possible that because people are like, why would she go ahead? Why would she? It's very possible that she said no, 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 and everything, and he said, I will die, and he's refusing and saying, no, it must be you, or no, you are going to ruin my life if you don't, and all that.
So
So
we now go back to what Onyi was saying, the character of the guy. We don't know what his character is. If he's so strong-willed, because there are some guys that would, in
Mm-hmm.
fact, throw you out from the window if you dare insult their wives. If that
Mm-hmm.
is the case, my vote is with her. Do you understand?
your vote is with who?
If that is the case, and you will know, if that she would have seen one or two things. If she sees that he's the guy that stands up to her mom, listen, I don't care about the inheritance. To hell with you and it.
Mm-hmm.
Then she should go ahead and marry. But if
Okay,
he's the type that she would always tell that cares about the inheritance, and it will get to a point where he will say, babe, he will start compromising because he can't see himself letting go of the dynasty,
all
Mm-hmm.
right, okay,
the
Ajiri,
wealth.
right. I think we're opening with we're peeling back these layers properly. Ajiri, can you hear us? Are you able to say something?
I have not, I'm trying to get into another network with my other phone. So I
Uh,
just, this
But we
one won't
can hear
work.
you very
But we
well,
can hear
though.
you well, actually, yeah. So.
I didn't hear anything that has been said in the last 30 minutes. I see
okay,
no
what do you feel
comments.
about this? Okay, so so want us to go
Let me
without you?
try and
Okay, so
get
we'll
in with
go.
my tea salad.
So let's go without Ajiri. I think you ladies have actually brought out what's important here, because the truth is that love is mighty, it's great and all that, but it's not going to be enough in a situation where there are so many. So how are we going to know now which one to remove her from? Because you probably have some noise if you're here on both. Okay, so in a situation where love is mighty, it's not the number one ingredient, but it still needs legs. So it's like a table without legs, isn't it? So without support, it's just not going to work. Because I was thinking of a situation where if you make this person not marry the love that they feel is the love of their life, and they settle with any other person, do parents actually also realize that what you've done is you've allowed your child to go ahead to create a marriage that they cannot be dedicated to. So their marriage, they have a marriage that you want, but that marriage doesn't work, because even the person that this person marries is not going to have their commitment, because they can marry you and continue that life outside with the person that was their chosen person. So
Mm-hmm.
the marriage is fine for the family, but it's not fine for the person who entered it, you know. So the bottom line is, if it's going to work, it's going to now have to depend on the person whose family, like you guys have pointed out, the person whose family is refusing. Now it's going to depend on them and what kind of willpower does this person possess? Is this someone who you know that not only is it the inheritance that they're going to worry about, because what Coco said is perfect. That inheritance is going to be an issue, because if they're going to now at the end of the day ostracize you or disown you and not let you in on the inheritance or whatever else, then it's going to become something that is going to be battling for your attention with his attention or her attention. with the spouse, right? Well, then when you mentioned something important, something very important, you're going to have children. Those children are going to have cousins from the
Mm,
other members of the family. How are they going to relate with them? When we have family gatherings and you go, will your kids be treated in a different way? Are you going to be able to stand it? How are you going to manage it? So, but I think at the end of the day, after putting all these things in consideration, the buck really lies at the feet of the person whose family is refusing. It's not about you at all and about how nice you are, because let's just get this straight. No matter how nice you are to someone who has refused you, you know it. I know
yeah.
from experience. I know it from experience. You don't get anyone to love you, to reciprocate your niceness or anything by even laying down yourself on the ground and letting them work on you, by even licking the SHIT off their ASS, by begging them, coming out in the morning, and there's nothing you are going to do. In fact, the more you do it, the littler you become, the smaller you look in their eyes. So there's no point saying appease them. It's just not going to work. So it's always, the buck always lies with the person whose family is against. Tell me, if you think, if there's something that I've said here, is he going to be able to fight for your children? Is she going to be able to fight for your children when they mix with the rest of the family? Are they going to be able to support you? Are they going to be able to support you when the family is having meetings and you are not called to the meeting and
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what's going
Mm-hmm.
on? Are they going to be able to, it's a full-time job. Are they going to be able to fill you in on everything that's going on? Are they going to be able to, because sometimes if they don't tell you something, you might feel, is she now working with them? You constantly feel like an outsider. So they're going to have to be able to be strong enough to carry you on their back and carry you along in everything. It's going to be a tough life, but the strength of that person whose family is refusing I think is what is of utmost importance. Because while we have said that love is not enough, if this person is going to be strong enough, and you need to see it's not that they're telling they're going to be, they already have to demonstrate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually see it in action, that they're doing it right now, and they're able to suppress these people and take you along and make it work already before you be hoping that it's going to work tomorrow. Because anything that's not working today has every likelihood of not working tomorrow. So that's the life that we're going to be taking in.
Yeah,
Um,
may I share practical stories like real
mhm.
quick? Yeah, yeah. So this first one, it's my friend. She her parents, her mother-in-law didn't want her, and it was just for a flimsy reason, because she's not from their state. She had never even met this girl, but immediately she heard that she's not from their home state. She
Hmm.
just immediately did not like this girl,
Wow.
but the husband knows. So the first time the girl visited them, she was treated shabbily as best, and they're not even affluent or anything. There's not even one involved. There's not even
Hmm.
any inheritance involved here.
Hmm.
So but the husband really loved her, and he was really sad about it. And while he was able to control his mother to an extent, that there wasn't really much he could do. And I remember something when I would ask her, "Why are you going ahead with this? Why are you taking this?" She said something. She said, "Yes, I know that he's my husband, and I also see that he's making ways." So one thing he did, they all lived in River State. So the very first thing he did was to get a house very far from their family house. That was one major thing he did. Get a house very far from their family house, and then he just kept that. The relationship was cordial, right? So right now the relationship, she and
Very
her mother-in-law
practical.
are not, yeah, they are not 5 and 6, as it were, but it's cordial. Everyone has their boundaries, and they are moving. Yeah, but the husband played a major role, and he's still playing it till today. The
Hmm.
second one was actually an auntie. I have no idea why again, this wasn't an affluent situation, but the mother-in-law said no. I have no idea. I think it was something flimsy as well. Maybe she didn't like how she looked. My auntie is not exactly the prettiest in the sense of the world, whatever her standards are for whoever is beautiful or not. And the mother-in-law said no. But the man said, why not? And he went ahead, paid the bride price. They actually did the traditional wedding. And then the mother-in-law came to her and told her, "You think you can enter this family without my say so? I will deal with you." And then,
Hmm.
well, I don't know because I was really young at the time. Whatever went behind, the summary of everything, the man came and returned the bride price,
Hmm.
and
Wow.
everyone, and so it's not even about. I'm saying that these are even reasons that are not. This is not even an affluent situation. I want
Hmm.
to see the man in a world of today that, like Coco said, will say to hell with the inheritance, to hell with the hyphenated Lagos family surname, to hell with the dynasty,
Yeah.
whatever that is. Because I want to see that man. I just want to say
Yeah.
hello to him, nothing. I want to see the man that would
Well,
do
you
that.
want to say hello to him? Nothing. That's interesting.
To
But the
greet
truth
him,
is that
nothing. Nothing. I just want to greet him.
well, I do so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking that our parents didn't place as much value on the two people involved um, as we do, because those days a lot of things were based on: is he a man? Is he capable? Is this a woman from a good family? Is he from a good family? And all that. But for us, we have been given the opportunity and the license, liberty to decide that we want the person that we feel we love. We want the person that we love that loves us back. So that plays a major role. So when parents of that age are saying are fighting their kids, they're not putting those things into consideration, because for them, you find somebody who is good, or you find someone who is of the same class, and if you don't marry this person, you can always get somebody else, you know. But for us, we know that finding someone that we are at that level of of I'm just finding someone that we love, like that, is not is important. That's a big priority for people of our generation and younger. So going forward, like for us now, if we if our children are in this situation, we're going to have that at the back of our minds as well when we are trying to say no to their choice. Us saying no to their choices will be strictly because we've seen something that we feel is going to be detrimental to our child, I think. So we're going to give more priority to, if she misses this person, is this thing such a big deal? Is it big enough
Can
for
I
us to allow
can you
this
see?
their love to die, and then put them out there where they might end up with someone that they're just patching or managing with, knowing that they're going to live in misery for the rest of their lives. And that's where you have people who go and they bring other people's children into the house. And that's where you have these things, because this woman is not the person who, this is not the man that the woman wanted to marry. And then have 4 or 5 children now, another man's, other people's children, or the man has children outside, or he never stays home. He's always out there because the woman in his house cannot satisfy him, and then you are insisting that my husband must treat me like this, like that. But in his mind, you were never his wife. Now you have just taken the place of the woman that he was supposed to have married. So that's how we have all these things. So, Ajiri, I don't know. Are you?
Can I? Yeah, can you
As
see
you're
We want
here,
me?
to
put
close
your
this.
speak
Want to
now.
wrap this up. Want to wrap this topic up.
Yeah, wrap this up. Can I have
Hmm?
10 minutes uninterrupted? Can I have 10 minutes?
We can hear
Are you
you.
ready? Are you ready?
Can I have 10 minutes uninterrupted?
Go ahead. How is it going to be listening to one person for
Oh,
10
10
minutes?
minutes of uninterrupted. I can't promise that.
It's not. It's going to look
first of
funny.
all,
Okay.
first of all, it's each situation and
Can you turn your
each man.
camera? Can you turn your camera?
Okay, this way.
It's not working.
It's not working.
Okay, go ahead. It's not working.
Okay, go ahead. It's not. I'm coming. Is it that you can't see me?
No, you just go ahead. Don't worry. The orientation isn't
No,
working.
you
So
just
go
go ahead.
ahead.
Don't worry. My watch is not working.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you see me now?
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. It's not a one size fit all issue. I personally have just been, since I started watching Wofai, first speaking specifically about Wofai and the coal guy. Since I stumbled into her, she's not just a comedian. She's such a, I mean, I feel she just has such a wonderful, bubbly personality, very endearing, very nice. you know. And I did do, sometime in the past, I just dug a little bit about her, and she's a fantastic cook. As in, she has a restaurant in Lekki Phase 1 called Just Afang. As in, she's a
Mm.
Cross River girl that
Wow, you're
knows
a
how to
cheerleader.
cook. Wow, you're a cheerleader. I'm just coming. I'm just saying. I'm when I started by saying one size. It's not a one size fit all thing. Now I don't know her personally. I'm speaking based on what I have seen of her. I'm married to an Akwa Ibom man. I'm from Delta State. She's from Cross River State, and she has now married someone from Lagos State. Most times, most sometimes lawyers, please correct me, which one am I meant to say, most or some before? Okay, in some cases,
We've
I don't
taken
know which word
judicial
again.
notice.
Okay, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I've come. It says intertribal marriages are tricky in Africa. Hardly will you see the parents that is warming that warms up to a girl from another tribe, or the parents of a girl that warms up to a man from another tribe. There's always that initial suspicion. There's always that initial resistance. There's always that. I mean, I don't. I mean, I hardly know of any that. I mean, they just, oh, welcome, oh, hula bula, welcome. No. So there's always that a little bit, because, and it is as a result of the mind of our society. Tribalism and religion has been a major dividing thing in our country, Nigeria. Tribalism and religion, um, if I could say, is what the politicians use when it's time for each election every 4 years. And the people are so gullible, they can't see through, they can't have a good perspective and see beyond the tribe. I speak this and I say this because I want, and I'm working on myself. I'm working on being able to accept every Nigerian as my brother. I'm working on my bias. I have had preconceived notions and preconceived
Mm.
bias and
Mm.
preconceived prejudices as a result of my circumstances
Your
and
own
my
experiences.
situation growing up and what I was exposed to. So I was conditioned in a particular way, just like almost every child born into every Nigerian home, almost every Nigerian home is unwittingly, unconsciously conditioned. So when this child is growing, thank God for the federal government colleges of our time. It afforded us the opportunities
Mm.
of looking beyond our respective tribes and religion and seeing that, oh, well, she's a Muslim, she's from Kaduna State, she ain't bad. Now, if our leaders, those in authority who created these federal government colleges, I think they had foresight, they had insight, they had hindsight. They looked at what was happening, what had
You're
happened in the
right.
past
You're
with the
right.
Biafra and the rest. You're right. They had insight, and then they had insights, and they said, look, we need to be able to address this issue. We need to be able to get, even if our generation is too late for us, let's try and cons- let's try and reorientate the minds of the generations to come. I strongly believe that that's why the federal government colleges were created. I strongly believe that that's why the National Youth Service Corps was instituted. Because you see, when I was born in Ibadan, and then my father gets a job in Warri Refinery, I moved to Delta State. Now I'm an Isoko girl. I'm from Delta. I'm living in Warri, and now it's time to go to secondary school. And my father does, oh, why don't you just go to Benin? I mean, Benin might be my first choice, but how about a try at Buloma? I don't want to be a local champion. I don't want to go to this secondary school, this primary school in the same state, in the same, let me explore my world. So you see a young, naive, unimpressionable, young 11, 12-year-old gets into her father's Beetle. 1987, we're talking 30, 33,
Cool down.
34
No, are
years
you living
old.
the
Cool
couple?
down. Are you living the Huh?
Even though
I
I'm
said you
enjoying
should
it.
give me time. Even though I'm enjoying it. I asked you to give me time. I particularly asked you because I'm coming from somewhere before I'm going somewhere. I always like to have hindsight, insight before I talk about the particular issue on ground. So please, I particularly ask for time.
Yes, darling. Go
Now,
on.
yes, darling. So now you come to an environment that you've never been to in your life. You've never been to River State. You've never left home. Now you come and you're in the midst of people from all over the nation. Those from the south, those from the west, those from the north, those from, and you are thrown in the mix. You begin to navigate life. You begin to see that all that I've been taught in the last 10, 11 years, I need to unlearn it. Man, Aisha is not so bad. She may be a Muslim, she may be from the north, but this preconceived notion I had that everybody from the north is out to kill me because I'm a Christian from the south was wrong. She's actually very nice. Oh, Amaka from Imo State. Oh, wow. She's not all about money. She's not all about making so much money and taking advantage of me and maybe putting the cost of, we exchange provisions now. That's how we did it in school. Okay, friend for food, FFF. So you begin to navigate life. GS1, GS2, you form friendships here, you form friendships there. And now we're formed. We're in our 40s, going on our 50s. I mean, next year I'm hitting 50. Who are my friends? Who are the people I've learned to tolerate? Who are the people I've learned to see their perspective? I have friends that are Muslims. Hey, I'm a born again Christian. You all call me pastor from time to time, but I have good friends that are Muslims. I have good friends that are from the north. I have friends that are from the south. I actually have friends who don't believe at all in Jesus. But what am I trying to say? Because of the foresight that our leaders who created these schools had, I have learned to be tolerant. I have learned to be accepting. I have learned to just take a chill pill. Now, how do you expect our parents' generation who did not have this exposure to suddenly accept that their son, who comes from a pedigree, who comes from wealth as far as they're concerned, they have a preconceived, they have an idea of what kind of wife they want for their child. Let's face it, there's a lot of arranging going on. There's a lot of my family has
And they're
this, your
not the
family
ones who
has
will
this.
live with that person.
And they're not the ones who will live with that person. Let's face it, there's a lot of you have this business going on, I have this business going on. If we team up, if our son and our daughters get married, we become a stronger force in society.
While they live unhappily.
There's such a thing as while they live unhappily. There's such a thing as strata in society. There's such a thing as cadre in society. Now, where I respect Mr. Cole, like my sister said, she wants to meet Mr. Cole. I do want to meet him because I want to meet the man who's going to tell his family, to hell with you, to hell with your name, to hell with your pedigree, to hell with your wealth. I'll make my own money. I'd rather start from scratch with a woman I love and have a happy life than have your BS with me, than be a part of your myopic world, if I may. I want to meet he is
And then he will
an
have another
enigma.
life outside his marriage.
And then he will have another life outside his marriage. There are very few of those kind of men left on earth. Now, that, as I said, is per couple, per relationship. We don't really know the details of why this family could go to the extent of publishing it on a daily newspaper. That was extreme. That was extreme. Because this woman, your son has chosen her. You don't, he is the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. It's not the father that finds a wife for the man. It's not the mother. It's not the family. It is he who finds. It is the man who finds who he wants to marry. Tell them. It's the man. Look, all you ladies, when a guy comes to ask you to marry him, he did not decide there on the spot out of some butterflies in his stomach. No, 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 no. When a man sees you, I'm telling you, most times from the first day he meets you, he has made up his mind he's going to marry you. He's just waiting for you to get the memo. I don't like that for me. Unfortunately, men are very transactional. Men are very decisive. Men are not like we women that are wishy-washy and cannot make up our mind whether we love him or we don't love him. A man knows what he wants. No, Mr. Okay. Okay. Let me know. Most men know what they want. Now, now
that we can
I want to go to the royal family. As I said, it's per family, per couple, per couple. I won't lie to you. When Prince Harry got up and said, to hell with the royal family, to hell with all of you, I am taking my princess and I'm leaving for America. Hey, I said, Chineke, all you've known, all you are, your entire identity, you give up for a Meghan. I won't lie to you, I was never a team Meghan. Because I'm like, why? Me too. Why would you think you want to be him for yourself? Oh God, man, he's mine. He belongs to only me. All of you can go to hell. No, you married a family. You married an institution. You knew what you were getting into. Nobody but a
that was what made me very uncomfortable. That was what made me very uncomfortable. How do I marry a man like this? And take him away.
There are ladies. There are some ladies who, before they even get married, they've already made up my mind. Shay, you say you don't like me. Shay, you say you don't want me to marry your son. Don't worry now. By the time I wear his ring, you will see if he will come to my house. So they've already drawn a battle line before they even marry. So by the time they marry the man, they're combative. Coco, am I making sense?
You made some sense, but
you made some sense.
Some bits of it definitely didn't make any sense. You know me, Ajay. You know I always bring you up on things that are. You see, with particular reference to.
He's bouncing everywhere, right? The audio is bouncing everywhere, right?
Bouncing, it's bouncing.
I'm using my techno phone. I normally use my iPhone. But it's not just this. I couldn't hear anything you were all saying, so I'm using this phone that
the audio.
Perfect.
Should I try and go back to the iPhone?
No, I think it's good now.
Okay, let me try. No, I think it's good now.
Okay. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
How do you go back? Go back to the other phone.
How do you go back? Go back to the other phone. Okay, let me try. So, basically, all I'm trying to say is, I see where Onyinye and Coco were coming and saying, you're going to have children for this family. It's a long-term thing. And I see where Uzoma was like, he's grandstanding now that he wants to marry you. There's the passion. There's the excitement. There's the enigma of, she's going to be my bride no matter what. But is he going to be there for the long haul? Is he ready for the battle? Is he ready? Is he capable? Not capable. Sorry, forget me. Is he ready to defend you at every family meeting? Is he ready to stand up for you at every family meeting? Those are the questions you should ask yourself before you take that leap. I have heard of so many men who, when they're with their wives, they know their wives are not accepted by their families. When they're with their wives, they're all lovey dovey and they're trashing their family. But when they go for that family meeting or when they go for that family event, my dear, you will not believe it's that same person that was trashing the family in the presence of the wife. They throw her under the bus. They don't stand up
Mm,
for her. They join
mm,
the family to
Mhm.
badmouth their bride. So
Mhm.
the question you have to ask yourself, this person I'm pitching my tent with, is he ready to lay down his life for me? The Bible says the
mm,
man is to love the wife
mm,
just like Christ loved the church. So the question you really should ask yourself, does he love me enough to lay
It's a
down his
battle.
life for
It's a
me?
battle.
Does he love me enough to stand up for me? Does he love me enough to consistently defend me? And there I rest my case.
He should be asking himself because
I'm
you
He should
can't
be
know
asking
until
himself
you, right? Until because when he's able to answer that,
because when
then
he's
you
able
will
to
see
answer
it.
that, then you will see it.
Mm.
The
Okay, were
thing
you
is,
going to
Okay,
disagree
were
with
you
what?
going
the
to
thing is,
agree
there
with
are, the thing is, there are signs during courtship. There are signs can see and sense during your courtship that can make you
Mhm.
know if this person is going to forever defend
And
you
don't delude
or if
yourself
this
at
person
all.
And
is going
don't
to
delude
throw you on
yourself.
the bus. And when you see the signs, either you take a walk or you
Yeah.
continue. But don't
Yeah.
ignore don't
Yeah.
ignore the signs.
Well, as much as
Well,
you've
as
talked
much as
about
you talk
as
about,
much as you've
Bring
talked
your
about
phone.
as much as you
the
Bring
talk
your
about
signs,
phone.
the signs,
sometimes those
sometimes
things can be so
those things
hidden,
can be so
i.e.,
hidden. And
you not being in a
you
position where
not
you
being in
actually
a
have
position where
access
you
to the
actually have
family or
access
whoever.
to the
So how will
family
you
or
know?
whoever.
The red flag thing,
You
I
know, the
quite
red flag
agree,
thing,
9 out of 10 times, but there's
9 out
always
of
the
10
one
times, but
time.
there's always
Oh
the
my
one
gosh.
time.
The audio is bad when you're
The
using it.
audio is bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
let me try
bad.
and get
Yeah.
into the other phone. Let me try and get into the iPhone. I'm coming.
No, but it's our responses
Um
that
No,
are
but it's our
wobbling.
response.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it's her phone
Yeah,
that's
but I'm
causing
wondering
it.
if it's
so this
Okay.
thing about
okay.
I don't
there's a
even know if
possibility,
we're
but
cool
for
now.
me,
I don't even know if we're cool now.
It's
I'm
still
trying to
on.
get in now. So
It's,
let's
it's
see.
still on. You can come.
Oh, Uzoma, I'm backstage on the other phone.
How about you? Put the other one
How
on.
about you?
Okay, Coco, you were saying?
No, what I was saying, okay, it's better now. Is, the red flag thing, of course I agree with it. There are always red flags, but there's always the one time when there's no red flag. Okay. Talking about this family, the kind of person the guy is or would end up being, some guys, by chance or women, really are experts at hiding. And when I say hiding, I mean absolutely hiding. So you wouldn't even have an inkling. Now, if
Not
it's things you're going to pick up about the way he will behave where his family is, if your relationship is as such where you're not exposed to his family, for example, they're living in another part of the country or in
that's
Mhm.
bad.
another country,
Of the world, yeah.
how will you know? You're not in the same space with them. But if you were living in the same town, same country, or even living in the same country, or say he takes you there, even if it's for the weekend, of course, you're very intelligent to observe how he's relating to the siblings, to the mother, to one relation. You're there to observe what he's saying when they're saying what they're saying. And you're, of course, making up your mind based on those observations. But if you've not been put in that situation, probably first time you're meeting them is a few days to the wedding or whatever, say like you all have traveled into from some town. Everybody's smiling and screaming. At the most, you just notice the mom shout at him and him not really responding, and you're just thinking, eh. But then that's a few days to the wedding, isn't it? So whilst I agree with what she's saying, she's made some valid points. The thing I think I need to throw that challenge is about the Megan thing. My views are that, listen, and I'm not trying to say the African way of doing things, because we're still going back to that issue of culture, which we trashed earlier on, as in, let's forget that culture thing. He married a woman I'm talking about Harry and Meghan. He married a woman that he wanted to marry. Let's not even beat about the bush. Of course,
Yeah,
she
he
knows the
did.
way how
Mhm.
things work in the family. Fine, because it's an institution, she knows the way it works. But that doesn't remove the fact that she married a man at the end of the day. The day she was getting married, she wasn't marrying the institution. She was marrying
Hmm.
into an institution. Hold on. She was marrying into an institution, but not the institution. She married a man. It was a man that put the ring on her finger. She
Hmm.
wasn't like the Queen of England who took an oath, no matter whether her life be short or long, to serve the crown. That wasn't the commitment that Meghan had. That's not the commitment that any other person had. It was only the Queen that took an oath, as in getting married, to say she was going to, and serving her country, she did. Meghan did not. She married a man. She didn't even, he wasn't even number two in line to the crown.
Yeah, we can agree on that. I don't know if you're frozen or if you stopped
I'll
Yeah.
get
talking.
back to this someday.
Okay.
One
Okay.
of the things I picked up from what she said was Harry was willing to be saved.
So
And it's
frozen.
important that we understand that he needed the help. He couldn't just up and just leave and go to America or anywhere
That's
else.
another angle. Hmm.
Who knows whether it was one of the reasons why he was even attracted to an American, to give him the opportunity to, because if he'd married an English girl, it might have been a bit awkward for them to like turn the globe and say, where do we live? Okay, let's go and live in Africa, a white person.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
fact that he married a foreigner made it easier. The country of choice made it a lot easier for him to just. She said it. He wanted to. Now I don't know what the big deal is. She married the institution, so she should give up her life when she wasn't the Queen of England that said she was married to the crown. This is a family. Listen, it's very important that we address the issue of abuse. The family, they do have an issue that they need to address. What we're doing by saying, oh, she married whatever, is to excuse the bad behavior of the crown, to excuse them for being racist to the girl. The British press, they have slammed
Uh,
her. They've done all sorts of things.
we didn't go in
Now,
that direction now.
we are excusing that kind of cruelty, that behavior under the name of, oh, well, she knows she married the institution, so she should have fallen in line. Falling in line when she was being asked horrible things about the baby she was carrying, the color, the whatever. And someone is saying to me that no, she knows she married, she should just shut up. No, well, she's one person that has refused to shut up. And even if she's in the minority, of what the public opinion, who cares? I mean, she doesn't. If she did bother, not now. Honestly, that's my view about this Megan issue. I've always defended her because I know
If we're
that she
gonna talk
married a
about it,
man.
if we're
Also,
gonna
how
talk
would
about
you
it,
feel? No, also, hold on. Let me ask you a question and us all this question, right? If you marry your husband, right? You being nice to the families under this whole idea of, okay, I have a new extended family. Granted, whether you're married to a white person or a black person, it really doesn't. We all have our cultures and our way of life, right? Even if I marry into a white family, I would want to have a relationship with the mother, the sisters, or whatever. But it doesn't mean that that relationship should be abused to the extent where you think that my house is yours because I married your son. No, it's not. Do you understand? Now, if you marry a family, just like you, and all of us, we're all married. When you
nope.
marry the man, you expect
Oye is not married.
boundaries.
Please, I need it. I need it.
Okay,
I
you're
need.
not. Okay, fine.
I need a
When you
better
marry a
man.
man, now, when you go on to marry a man, and for the rest of us that are married, you expect certain boundaries. Now, if it's boundless under the name of marriage, that is not right. We need to start calling out these things in our society for things to change. We can't go, you married a family. Do you not know that his brother is supposed to be? And that the brother, we're not calling out the bad behavior of the mother-in-law, of the brother-in-law, and we're saying that they have rights in their home. No, they don't. Their rights are in their own home. They're your guest. Then they're not part of your family. They are your guest. They are
Excuse
your
me,
family.
Coco. Excuse
Hold
me,
on. Let
Coco.
me correct this. Let me correct this. Sorry. Let me correct this. They're part of the family as in extended, but they do not call the shots of what happens in that home. They're
Excuse
not.
me,
But
Coco.
they
They
are part of the family.
shouldn't. Anyway, they
Coco,
Coco,
shouldn't.
I
family and there's
think
an
that
extended family.
here is what it is. Here is what I think. I don't
That
agree that
home,
anybody
hang on, also,
else.
that home belongs to the wife and the husband, right? They call
Here,
the shots in their home. Every other person is upon their invitation. Not even the children in that family call the shots. The
Coco,
man
but
and the wife.
unfortunately, that's not how life works. You know why? In my opinion, this is not how life works because there is me, there is you, there is the Oba of Benin and his palace, there is the Alaafin of Oyo and his palace, there is the royal family in the UK, in Britain, and their royal everything and their institution. If I am marrying the next man, there is nothing we can do about this. There are certain families that will be exempt from certain things. Not saying that because now Megan has broken them all. Not saying that you can't break it. But the bottom
Megan
line
didn't
is
break
this.
them up. It
No,
is
no, no, no,
wrong.
no, no,
It is wrong.
no, no. Allow me to make this point. So
But she
Megan
didn't
has
break them up.
broken.
So
No, I
she
didn't say
didn't
she
break
broke them
them
up.
up.
I didn't say she broke them up.
Okay.
I said she has, and in
Okay.
fact, I didn't say that, but actually she has. She has because if I were marrying this man, and this is me, maybe I am too laid back in this kind of
She
thing.
has
I would,
not.
I would consider this particular family. I am not going to war with this particular family, not because they will kill me, but because I would feel that this man is going to give up these things. Do I want him to give up these things? I wouldn't want him to give up these things on account of me. No, allow me to land.
Let
No,
me
no, 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 no,
quickly
no, no,
jump
no, no, no,
in.
no, no, no. You wait, you wait. But because I think that maybe this is what you want to draw my attention to. Knowing what these people have gone through, he may actually have been wanting a way out himself because it's not easy being a part of that family and all those their rules and regulations. So based on that, maybe he needed Megan to save him. On that part, I will say very good for them. But if we don't look at that part, all those things about you're marrying a man and the family should know their limits. We can say as much as we want until we're blue in the face. This is the royal family. I don't know how much of a battle. It's going to take some time because even his father, who wanted to marry the love of his life, you saw how long it took him before he eventually married her. If it was that simple, he could have done what his uncle did and just married her right away without waiting for permission, without asking for permission, and just gonna. That's a family where you don't just do just like that, you know.
Yes,
So it
now
takes a lot.
somebody needs to change it also. I think the problem with us is we're so conditioned to follow tradition and even the bad ones that breaking away from it, we think, oh, let's wait a little bit. We don't need to wait a little bit. Someone has to start it. You become the most unpopular person. Remember the uncle, King George, I believe, I can't remember
No,
the number, I think
you see
eight
where
or
I'm okay
something.
with Meghan and Harry because he probably needed saving. He probably needed a woman like that to take him out. But besides that, if it was me going in there and bringing him and pulling him and saying, "If you love me, let's do this," I would not
No.
recommend that at all.
No, that's wrong. I think you're being very unfair to the girl to say that she pulled him. She did not pull
I
him.
didn't
He
now. No,
did
I said
what he wanted to do.
if it is, I didn't. I just said that I didn't like what I saw there. But coming back to
She
think
spoke
about
to
it,
him. The little bit
maybe that's
about
what
that
he
interview,
wanted.
she actually spoke to him,
Because
but that was
living
what
like
he
that,
wanted. I
yes,
see
because
no
living
reason why. Listen, even if she told him to stay or come out or whatever, you see, well, I think we're missing the point here. And the point is, man and wife are married. Please, can we not look into their affairs? How they want to live, where they want to live is their business. That's the point
Yeah,
I'm
I will
making.
agree with that one. I will agree with that
We
one.
have no say. Okay, also, you think they're the royal family. Oh, really? So you can choose to live your life with your husband and they can't? It's
But
wrong.
there's a reason. There's a reason why some people would have
What
refused
makes
to
you think,
marry
Wanda,
Meg. Some
what
people would
makes
have
you
refused
think
to
you
marry
can set
Harry.
boundaries for yourself, but they can't? That's wrong. That's unfair.
But
In all honesty,
there's a reason why
what
some
makes
people
you
would
think? No,
have
I'm
refused.
asking you a question. When you do get married, what makes you
Coco,
think that you
I
can
want
set
to ask you
boundaries, but
directly.
they
I want
can't?
to ask you. I want to ask you, Coco. If the Alaafin's son or the Oba's son comes to marry you, you will not make your decisions the way you would make your decisions as with any other person. You're going to consider these things. I am going to be able to, I am going to go ahead and fight certain things. You're going to consider those things because you know it's not a regular family.
Good.
So you can't
It
expect
will
them to
take
do
us.
things business as usual.
Your question now takes us back to our initial topic, which is, do you advise, I mean, how we came down to this topic, do you advise a girl to go ahead and marry in a family where they're rejecting her, the Wofai family and stuff? And remember what Onyi did say, which I supported, which is, okay, let us look at the circumstances. If you know in your heart of hearts that this is a man that will stand by you, yeah, that will not let the family insult you and all that, please go ahead and marry him. But if you
Actually,
think
that's
that
what it
he's
calls for.
influenced by the wealth, by the whatever, just don't go. So the question you're asking me about the Alafin son, there you go. If I
Okay.
know from the everything that he's the kind of person that will stand by me, I'll marry him. But if I think he might be swayed by, I would be the
Let me
next
even
whatever Alafin, I wouldn't go
let me
because
adjust
I
what you're
know that
saying
it's going to
for the
cost
person
me a
who's
lot of
facing this
heartache.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me just adjust that for the person who's facing this tomorrow. So Coco just said, if I know, and we just said if we look at him, actually, here's what it is. He needs to be displaying that action right now before we get married. When if he or she is displaying that attribute of standing up for me right now or standing up for you right now before you get married, you will see it. And if you don't see it, don't be expecting that tomorrow, after you even have your children and you have other challenges, that is going to get easier. You're ready for a long battle. And if you don't see it right now, you better not be getting in there. You need to display it. So I think that's a good place to end this particular topic, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And thank you for being with us. I think that this touched on so much more than we had intended it to, but a good discussion nonetheless. Now let's know what you're thinking in the comments. Put this into consideration if you're going, you're facing this situation in your own relationship. Remember that love, see that thing that they say that love conquers all. It's only with the person who is ready to do that battle to the end. The statement isn't complete. They say love conquers all. It's not going to conquer anything unless both parties are willing to battle it to the end for the sake of this love. Let me remind you, finding that person with whom you match. I know it's not a walk in the park. When we're children, we thought like children. Now we know it's not a walk in the park.
Mhm.
So the person who is able to do it, who feels that way, and who has the strength to go into this battle. With that, we close this topic. Thanks for being with us. Bye.